through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome back to the couch. Always nice to talk honey and sweet things. Today we're talking bees and all about bees with Eco Action. But to talk to them, we've got our very own bee, Queen Bee, Nisha.
Wow, thank you so much, Fred. Welcome to the couch again, Eris from Eco
Thank
Action.
you so much.
And today you've brought a lovely guest on as well. And Dr. Kit, you are a native bee scientist, so we're very happy to have you on, talking all things bees. But for those that may have missed some of our previous segments, maybe we can start off, Eris, with a bit about what Eco Action does.
Oh, absolutely. So Eco Action is, we do so much. We do art projects. We try to connect communities with their environment. We try to make sure they're aware of their native species, because we find that a lot of us, they recognize, hey, there are insects and there are other animals, but they don't really understand truly the importance of these creatures. And so we do a lot of things with kids, adults, and community events, essentially.
Fantastic. So you've been very busy. That joke.
Very good one.
What have you been up to lately?
Well, actually, speaking of, we were actually at, I think it was called Quokka's birthday. Oh. So on Rottnest Island, they have little birthdays for the quokkas.
Quokkas are gorgeous.
And there was a wonderful stall. We were working with so many people, and we actually created about, I think, 300 native bee hotels.
Bee hotels.
Bee
I like the
hotels.
sound of that.
Yes, they're very different to beehives. Obviously, they're not going to be buzzing with European honeybees. It's going to be a very different kind of bee.
Wow. So part of Eco Action's work, like you said, is connecting community. Were you working with a lot of children?
Yes.
Yes.
We were swarmed with children. There were parents.
Oh, I love the language. Swarm. We're really into this.
There were parents coming around asking, everyone was buzzing.
Just obviously an expert.
And it was just so wonderful, because actually Kit was there with me, and she was helping us educate about all of these beautiful species.
Kit, tell us, what is a bee scientist? Because you've studied, so what does that look like?
So I studied the native bees. There's been a lot of research on the European honeybee, but not much about native bees. So my research has been looking at the biodiversity of native bees, how we can conserve them in urban areas, the impact of honeybees on native bees as an introduced species, the response of native bees to bushfires, and also identifying and describing new species of native bees.
Wow, the bees are so lucky to have you. And you've all noticed, obviously, we have two beautiful bee outfits here.
I hope it'd be obvious.
Very passionate inside and out. Now, you mentioned the native bees, so we kind of hear a lot about honeybees. What's the difference? Either of you can answer this. And what's the difference between a native bee and the honeybee?
Well, I think Kit would probably be the best qualified person to answer that, seeing as you have a beautiful PhD and a doctorate. So go on.
So our native bees are so different to honeybees. Almost everything that you've learnt about bees doesn't apply to our native bees. So most of them don't live in colonies. Most of them don't have a queen and workers. They're solitary or semi-social. They can range in size from 2 millimetres, so really tiny, up to 2.5 centimetres. Most of them don't make honey. Some of them are super specialised, and they'll only forage on plants in one family or genus, so as specialised as a koala.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's amazing. So there's really so many different species of bees, and they all don't make honey, which is something I think a lot of us don't realise.
Well, a few make honey, but not here in southwest WA. We do have some bees in Australia that are commonly called sugar bag bees and have important cultural connections with the traditional landowners.
Oh, wonderful. And so these bee hotels that you've been building with the kids, tell us about the importance of those.
So unfortunately, as we urbanise areas, we lose a lot of our bushland. And so working with the limited, bushland that they have, these bees, unfortunately, are out of their element. A lot of the old trees that this would be kind of trying to represent, or reeds, would be cut down and moved. So instead of keeping that old tree there where beetles would slowly break it down and make little holes or hollows, we often move that out of the way, then we get rid of it, throw it out. And so that can no longer be a home for our native bees.
You know what, I'm looking at this bee hotel and I'm thinking, like in Vegas, we could have like a light up sign at the front. Would that work as well?
Oh my goodness. That would be very cute.
Oh, actually, you mentioned off air, Dr. Kit, that they do make some big like life-size or larger hotels overseas. Is that right?
Yeah, there's sadly we don't have bumblebees here in Australia, but they made like a dollhouse for bumblebees, which was really cute.
So cute.
Yeah, but you can get really creative with bee hotels and design them, make a wooden block that looks like a hotel with the appropriate size holes in them. So yeah, you can make a like Vegas style bee hotel.
Love that.
Maybe have some gambling in there.
So when we talk about native bees, let's talk a little bit about why we don't see them around as much.
Well, I find that unfortunately people often don't know that they exist. So I feel like that would be a very big, important step, is knowing that they actually do exist, and they don't often look like the European honeybee. So we're often used to the black and white stripes, that's a bee.
Yes.
Some of our native bees look like wasps.
Wow.
Some of them look similar to flies.
Wow.
And it's often really hard to find them because some of them will also just live in the ground, and you'd be like, oh, what's living in the ground? We don't know about that. And if you know where to look, if you look in the right places, you'll actually find that they're everywhere, and they're trying to survive just like we are.
So why is it important to help them? Are there lots of, obstacles to help them, or what are you guys doing to help out?
Yeah, so the great thing about native bees is that although they're threatened, although they are underrepresented in funding and conservation, everyone can make a difference by protecting bushland, by planting native flowers, by not putting pavement or fake grass over the ground, by retaining big old trees, and by raising awareness and the profile of our native bees.
Fantastic. And, you can sense the passion for both of you about bees. Okay, I'm really interested. Why are you so passionate about bees? How did you get started in this space?
So I've always loved biodiversity, and sadly, like most people, I didn't even realise native bees existed until I was in my mid-20s, and then I learnt about Amygilla dawsoni, Australia's biggest bee, that has alternative mating strategies. I went on to study them. I have a tattoo of them. So I'm obsessed with native bees, and now I've dedicated my life to studying them and conserving them.
And they're so fuzzy. They're so adorable. And so for me, I think it's also just a passion for everyone to know about these things, so that their environment also exists with them. You can't just be secluded and think, hey, this is my house, this is where I live, because you have creatures that were there before you that need somewhere to live as well.
Well, you're both such warriors for bees, and also the whole biodiversity, like the whole system, which is amazing. With Jane Goodall's recent passing, rest in peace. She was a real warrior, wasn't she? And I think you're really carrying on a lot of that great work. Daily impact, daily actions can have big impact. Exactly. Now, where do we find out? Time goes so quick, but where do we find out more about Eco Action, their programs, bees?
Beautiful. Well, if you want to reach out to Kit has a Facebook group called The Buzz on Wild Bees, I believe, and it is an amazing Facebook group. She identifies a lot of bees. For Eco Action, we actually do a lot of different sessions. We go to schools, we go to community events, libraries, all sorts, even Ronos Island.
Fantastic.
I love that.
And you find us at ecoactionwa.org.
Fantastic. Well, I do believe you are a lady of many talents, and so Fred's going to talk to you about something else now. So back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha. There is a little bit of a buzz in the air. I did want to give you a bit of a sting, but this is an amazing jacket. I'll get Josh to grab a picture of this amazing jacket. Now, Dr. Kit, you actually make these and you designed them.
Yeah, I designed the mural because I realised that there was so much misinformation and disinformation about what flowers our native bees need. And so this is a selection based on my research of some of the best flowers to support a biodiversity of native bees that you can get and grow in your garden. You might have seen that design previously because Costa from Gardening Australia has a t-shirt with that on it.
Oh my goodness.
I have that on my Redbubble store called The Bee Babette, BEE.BABETTE. That's my stage name. I'm also a circus performer.
What? Wow. Very multi-talented.
Many
and
talents.
I do apologise. Nisha actually referred to your outfits. You're actually going night clubbing after this. But they're normal attire. Do you guys love honey yourselves? Do you eat honey?
Oh, yes.
Or you don't touch it?
Oh, I mean, I I rarely eat honey, but I do love it. It's like a delicacy,
Okay.
a sort of like a sweet treat.
Gee,
I probably do
very
something that's a bit off standard. I like eating the honeycomb.
Oh, yes.
good. Oh, look, violet crumble, all those type of
Goodness.
things. Well done to both of you. Dr. Kit, we love the outfit. This is the outfit you guys are wearing. You're very passionate. Thank you to Nisha as well. And thank you to you at home for watching another episode of The Local Couch. We're trying to keep it local. Local eco, local doctor, local dancing music, local charities. If you haven't got the gist yet, we're keeping it local here on the couch. Thank you to Michael who came back. Michael waved to us on one of those cameras there. Michael's come back to help us today. Here you go, Michael. Michael Mass, of course, Tessa, Erin, Josh as always, and of course Alex, our crew, and Nisha, and the control room. Ella, first day doing sound. Great job, Ella. You've done a great job. Marcella doing our DA, and Adrian, our director. That is it for us, and Barbara in the green room. We'll see you next week with another local edition of The Couch. Until then, have a great week, Australia. Bye for now.
Wanna catch me there?
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Retrovision, the right advice at the best price. Safety Compliance Global, taking care of all your safety requirements. The Ray Hotel, discover the best pub experience in Fremantle. And Eco Action, inspiring positive environmental change. Thank you all for supporting local.